Well, good evening, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron here once again. We're going to give you guys a kind of a live update going over the severe weather threat ongoing right now across northwestern Arkansas. I'm going to talk to you guys about some timing and all the other stuff and make sure my microphone is on and working. We're good. And I'm also going to talk to you guys about the overnight hours and everything like that here. So this is one of the latest live streams we've done this late without it being a tornado warning here. So we're going to talk about northwestern Arkansas real quickly, and then we're going to get over to the rest of the natural state at this current time here. And then also, I'm going to show you guys a couple of follower videos we've gotten from northwestern Arkansas as well. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning up here that goes until 12:30. It's going to be for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to go for mainly Washington County up here in northwestern Arkansas. Also, one more thing is if we have widespread warnings, take a look at your bottom of your screen here. This is a new alert bar that's going to update every 5 seconds. You're going to hear the sound go off on that as well. So make sure if we don't get to your warning, pay attention to the bottom. It has all your information on there at this current time here. So this is going to go until 12:30 this morning. And then we've got another one down here that's going to be towards the Fort Smith area. And we're going to keep an eye on the Fort Smith area here because this has been exhibiting some rotation here just to the north of the Fort Smith area here. Right now going for about 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. But we're going to have to watch this very, very closely here. Let's take over to our rotation indicator real quickly here, and this is going to be as a concern right here just to the north of Fort Smith or just to the northwest of Van Buren at this current time here. So this is something that we're going to monitor very, very closely. Right now, I do believe that you're going to have to keep an eye on this. This is going to continue to move out towards the east-northeast towards Rudy, and it's also going to go towards the Interstate 49 area as well here. So just making sure everybody can hear me clearly right now, just double-checking everything. I think we are good to go and everything like that, so I'm not seeing any issues here. But we're going to keep an eye on that storm right there just to the north of I-40 and just to the west of Interstate 49 at this current time here. But elsewhere, it's going to be mainly hail and wind that we're going to have to watch very closely here across northwestern Arkansas. And then this one over here in Oklahoma, this one's going to go for about almost 2-inch hail over here, considerable damage tag. With this one also is going to exhibit an area of rotation just to the west of Plateau at this current time here. So we're going to zoom this out. Before I get into the watch and stuff, I want to kind of show you guys this. This is from our... One second, I'm going to go back over to it. I apologize for that. But this is going to be for our follow up here in northwestern Arkansas. This was from Springdale earlier. Some heavy rainfall, some hail coming down as well for that severe thunderstorm just earlier on this evening here as the storms are moving into northwestern Arkansas here. So you guys know if you have any photos or videos or anything like that, feel free to send them in and we'll get it broadcast either on a live stream or we will have it posted on the page for you guys here. So let's talk about the ongoing tornado watch at this current time here. This is the tornado watch over here in eastern Arkansas, and then you've got the give me 1 second. That accidentally came up. Give me 1 second. 1 second. There it is. All right. So this is the tornado watch over here in eastern Arkansas. That's going to go until 5 o'clock this morning. And then we've got the severe thunderstorm warning over here. Give me 1 second here. The severe thunderstorm watch that's going to go until 3 a.m. as well. And I do believe the new one that just came out that's just to the west of the metro, this is now going to go until 5 o'clock this morning as well here. So just kind of keep that in mind. Something that we're going to have to watch very, very closely here. I do believe the alert bar may have gone off for just a second here. Let me go back to that. Okay, so I apologize for that, guys. But yeah, that's severe thunderstorm watch. That's going to go until 5 o'clock. We've got this one over here that's going to go until 3 a.m. And then the tornado watch over here is going to go until 5 o'clock this morning here. So we're going to continue to monitor these storms. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning out over here. It's going to go until 12:30. This is mainly going to go for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail at this current time here. Just double-checking everything right now in terms of reports. Right now in northwestern Arkansas, there's a lot of cold air aloft. The chance of tornadoes up there in northwest Arkansas appears to be very, very low, but something that we're going to keep an eye on over the next couple of hours here. So something that we're going to watch very closely here, but I do believe eastern Arkansas, you will have that threat as we get towards late tonight and the early part of your tomorrow morning here, so keep that in mind. But right now, I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to zoom down, and I'm going to keep an eye on this particular one. This is just to the north of Fort Smith. It has that classic shape that we're going to have to watch. It's just to the north of Van Buren or just to the west of Rudy at this current time. And it's going to continue to move off towards the east. So I'm real shocked they didn't opt to go tornado warning with that one. It's still showing a good amount of rotation. It's pretty broad in the atmosphere But we're going to keep an eye on that. I do believe most of this must be elevated, so that's maybe a hail threat up here in northwestern Arkansas. However, I'm going to watch that very closely here. So that's just to the north of Van Buren, just to the west of Rudy at this current time here, is along or just to the north of Interstate 40 at this current time here. But outside of that, it's mainly a wind and hail threat up here in northwestern Arkansas. So we're going to go back over to our current radar, and you can see there's a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go until 12:30. This one over here is going to go until 12:30 as well here. So when can you expect these storms to move into central and into eastern Arkansas? This is mainly going to be after the 2-3 o'clock in the morning time frame. This is going to be a overnight event. This is going to be something that you're just going to have to make sure your phones are stayed on, your weather radios are stayed on, and stuff like that. I do realize a lot of people have to get up first thing in the morning, go to work, and everything like that. However, you will have that tornado that you're going to have to watch here. So we're going to go back to our watches real quickly, and what I'm going to do for just a second is I'm going to turn the radar off, and we're going to go over to our Futurecast to kind of answer a few questions here. But I'm going to keep the tornado alert on just to be on the safe side. I decided to do something with that Fort Smith storm over there here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to switch it over to our Futurecast for just a little bit, and we're going to get that up for you guys here. So there's the watch. There's the Futurecast radar. That's just the header just changed. And we're going to go over to the model data real quickly here. We're going to take a look at that. So I'm going to use the HR. I do believe the HR has been doing relatively good. And we can take a look at about 2 a.m. So this is going to be about 2 a.m. Give me 1 second. I don't know why that glitched out on me. We're going to take a look at the radar. So give me 1 second. Give me one. Stand by for just a minute. All right, it's going to be right here. Okay, so give me 1 second here. There's the radar coming in at this point. Let me go over to the precipitation type. And for some reason, that's not working for me. Let me go over to this one. This one may have the better idea. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to put you at about 4 a.m. and we're going to see what you get for us. So basically what it's doing here, I think the thing is starting to act up a little bit. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to switch it back to our current radar for just a bit. And I may have to restart this. This has been running for 24 hours straight, so I'm not surprised it tried to do that. But basically the timing for everyone that's in that tornado watch, I say from 2 a.m. to about 7 o'clock in the morning here. And I'm going to tell you guys this now, that much of this area over here, it's going to be scattered in nature. It's not going to be something that is widespread or everybody's going to see severe weather and stuff like that during the overnight hours. This is going to be kind of scattered activity here, kind of showing you what you guys seeing over here in eastern Arkansas, these isolated cells that are going to impact those isolated areas. That's what you're going to have to watch out for. And that's the main reason why the weather apps have been struggling so much, is because, you know, it had 20% or 30%, stuff like that. The main reason why is because everything is scattered. It's not a massive line coming through or as a widespread severe weather event. But the problem is, any storms that do go up over here in this tornado watch, the environment will be capable of producing severe weather here. So what I'm going to do for just a moment is I'm going to restart this radar because it has been dropped in 24 hours. I'm going to restart our radar, and hopefully that will counter the Futurecast issue. And we're going to get the Futurecast up and running for you guys here. So my moderators or anybody like that, if you guys can go in the comments, make sure we're good and set in there. But I believe that may have countered the issue here. So bear me for just a little bit. I'm going to get this going for just a second here, guys. All right, let me see here. There's the radar. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go over. I'm going to take the radar for just a second. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the severe thunderstorm warnings off for just a bit. But I'm going to leave the tornado warning up just to be on the safe side. And what we're going to do here, and I believe I knew that was off. I knew exactly it was off. Okay. All right. So there we go. There's the Futurecast now. And we're going to go over timing for just so kind of ease some minds for you guys. So this is 6 a.m. by the way. And we're going to take a look at this. And give me 1 second. So your timing's going to be up here at the top left corner of your screen. I'm going to back this up all the way to about 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? So those cells coming out of northwestern Arkansas, I don't know if the HR is actually doing a good job in terms of this line coming in. I think this line is going to be able to sustain itself, but you're going to have to watch over here in eastern Arkansas along the Mississippi River. You're going to have to watch these cells go up here. Now, we're going to take time out to about 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, remember something. I'm going to do this for you guys. So remember something. This is the tornado watch. That's going to go until 5 a.m., And then this is the severe thunderstorm watch that's going to go until 3 o'clock this morning, and this one's going to go until 5 o'clock. Notice something. Those are your line of storms coming through at this point. And notice how those isolated cells have that supercell look, has that hook look. This is where you're going to have to watch very closely down here in southwest Arkansas. And then it's going to eventually move into eastern Arkansas right around sunrise. So this is 5 a.m. You can see storms kind of moving into the Little Rock area, some isolated cells across the board. You're going to have to watch near that Memphis area. And you can see just to the right side of your screen over there in Tennessee, northwestern Mississippi. That's where you have the supercell threat up here. But you're going to have to watch eastern and then southeastern Arkansas. So this is 6 a.m. You notice western Arkansas, you're good. But eastern Arkansas, we're probably going to be covering you guys well into first part of tomorrow morning. So make sure you're staying with us. Morning commute and everything like that. Make sure you're staying tuned in case you have any watches or warnings here. And you can see by 7 a.m., you're really starting to get some cells here. And I can zoom this down and kind of show you guys what's going on here. So that's going to be near the Fordyce area, near Camden, El Dorado, near Dumas, near the Stuttgart area. We're going to have to watch down here in southeastern Arkansas for some isolated supercells that may go up first thing tomorrow morning. That's going to be the case with this here. So just double checking everything. I'm not sure. Making sure everything is good to go. Okay, so we're good. All right, so by 8 o'clock, you're really going to start seeing those cells going. So this is probably going to go from probably about right now all the way to at least 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be one of those long duration events during the overnight hours, first part of tomorrow morning. If you're off, it's probably good to kind of keep one eye open tonight just to be on the safe side. But if you're not, then just make sure you keep your phone on and your weather radios on just to be on the safe side here. Now, you can see by 9 a.m., we're still not done with this. We're still not done with this even at 9 a.m. You got a line of supercells basically from Memphis all the way down to Stuttgart, all the way down to Dumas, Monticello, across the area over here, across eastern Arkansas. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw some sort of time extension with the tornado watch here, especially over here in far eastern Arkansas, that may go to about 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then by 10 a.m., we're finally beginning to push this out of the state. But notice something. Look over here just to the east of Dumas. Look over here by Greenville. Notice that little curvature right here. I can draw this out. It's going to be right here. These little cells that you're going to have to watch because they may exhibit some tornado potential over here across eastern Arkansas and western and northwestern Mississippi here. So make sure that you're staying weather aware. It's going to be all night tonight, first part, at least first half of your Thursday morning. And then it will start to carry to the east here. So it's something that we're going to have to watch. I think we'll be wrapping this up across the state by the time we get towards 11 a.m. But right now, I'd say timing will be from basically right now all the way until about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning here. So I'm going to back this up, go to about 1 o'clock in the morning. There's your line of storms right there coming into northwestern Arkansas. Also, I do see the new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. It is going to be at the bottom of your screen here. You're going to hear that alert thing go off as well here. Let me guys know in the comments if you guys like that, by the way. Shout out to our developer, Richard, for getting that up and running for us. But anywho, there's the line of storms currently ongoing northwestern Arkansas right now. This is going to start to push to the east by this point here. So I'm just kind of going over timing so you guys kind of get a visual when we're looking here. Now, I will say this, about 2 a.m., I'd say from El Dorado to Pine Bluff over to Memphis, you're going to have to keep an eye on these storms down here. Because these storms, once they start going, will have that tornado potential here about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then by 3 a.m., like I said before, it's dying off the line over here. Well, we shall see what ends up happening with that. And what I'm going to do for just a second here, I'm going to turn on our surface-based instability, basically our fuel. This is 3 a.m., by the way. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. And you have a lot of fuel for severe thunderstorms across central and southern Arkansas and eastern Arkansas, even for our folks up there in northern Arkansas. The saving grace is that what we call our lift, basically what lifts the storms up into the atmosphere, is pretty modest. It's not the most strongest lift we've had. So we're not seeing this widespread supercell development. But what storms can get going into this environment, this is where you're going to have to watch for that severe potential. Now, you take this out to 4 o'clock in the morning. Look at there. You're talking from Camden, El Dorado, Warren, Pine Bluff, Little Rock, Conway, the Searcy area over towards Memphis. This area in here, you're going to have to watch very closely during the early morning hours of your Thursday morning. So keep that in mind, guys. Like I said before, I know everybody's wanting to go to bed. I know it's overnight. However, this is the most crucial part. I told you guys 2 days ago that this was going to be your severe threat, and this is what you're going to have to watch here. So this is 5 a.m. Just kind of going over timing once again, just in case anyone missed it. The yellow that you're seeing right here is your storm fuel. That's the fuel needed for severe thunderstorms across the area. And it's really highlighting basically from I-30 to I-40, points south and east from there. And even in northern Arkansas, where you see the green and the yellow up there, you're still favorable for seeing severe weather up there in northern Arkansas. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then you can get to about 6 a.m. This is 6 a.m., by the way. Seeing all this instability and all this fuel in place at 6 o'clock in the morning is never a good thing, especially for our folks over here in eastern Arkansas. So these storms, you're going to have to watch very closely. This is where you're going to have that tornado potential as we get towards late tonight and the early part of your tomorrow morning. This is 7 a.m. from Little Rock to Camden, El Dorado, Warren, Dumas, Stuttgart, over towards Memphis. This is going to be the area of concern over here in eastern and southeastern Arkansas. And then by 8 a.m., you can see from Warren to Dumas to Pine Bluff up to Brinkley to Memphis. This is where you're going to have to watch once again. Then you're going to continue to monitor that as it continues to push off towards the east here. So what I'm going to do for just a bit, I'm going to back this up, and I'm going to show you guys another feature real quick before we go back to radar. And this is something that I really haven't bothered with too much here in terms of coverage, but this is what we call our mid-level rotation tracks here. And I'm going to show you guys this real quick. And this is going to be about 1 a.m. here, so pay attention up here in northwestern, eastern Arkansas, and down in southeastern Arkansas. So this is about 1 a.m. So these are the severe storms ongoing up here in northwestern Arkansas as of right now. Okay, let's take this out to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No, not afternoon, in the morning. Some of these you're going to have to watch. I hate using this product because of the fact that it's kind of misleading, because a lot of people use this product and it says it's an automatic tornado track. However, it's not. You're going to have to watch for hail and the potential of a tornado here. Now, I'm going to speed blitz this through about 5 o'clock in the morning. So I want to see what it's doing with these cells down here in southeastern Arkansas. So that's about 6, that's 7 o'clock in the morning, and then here's 8. And you can see these little streaks in the line here. So this is basically your rotation tracks, and this is looking at mid-level. Let's take a look at low-level for just a little bit. And what I mean about this, basically what this is, it just kind of gives you an indication on where you could potentially see rotation. It's not necessarily on you're going to see a tornado if you're in that track. It's just where these storms are going to rotate. And that's where it's kind of showing over here in eastern Arkansas by the time we get towards first thing tomorrow morning here. So something to keep an eye on. Like I said, about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is where they're going to have to watch that time frame, especially from El Dorado to Camden to Little Rock to Searcy, points east from there. And then take this out further, that's what we're going to have to watch very closely across the area here. So we're not done just yet. We haven't seen anything all day. The overnight threat is still on the table here, guys. Just make sure you stay with us during the overnight hours. We're going to keep you guys updated on that. So to kind of reiterate everything, there's your severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing across eastern western Arkansas at this time. Mainly 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail with these storms. I'm going to keep an eye on that storm just to the north of Fort Smith. Let's take a look at that real quick. Right now, oh man, look at there. It's really starting to get itself going just to the southwest of Mountainburg at this time here. Now, I'm real curious about something real quick, and it's going to be, where is your warm front? Where is your warm front? Your warm front's well to the north up here across this area here. So let's take a look at this. Give me 1 second, and let's see what it's trying to do with this in terms of the rotation here. So this is the rotation indicator right now. Not the most impressive thing on radar. I do believe this is probably going to be a hail and wind threat out of this, simply because you just don't have the dew points. We can take a look at that as well. This is going to be your dew points up here. So your dew points are about 60, 61, 62 up here in northwestern Arkansas. So we'll keep an eye on that, the one near Alma. But right now, I believe it's going to be mainly a hail and wind threat with that particular storm as it continues to move off towards the east here. So we're going to zoom this out. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave the radar looping. We'll go back over to our time. And I'm going to answer a few questions, just kind of giving you guys a generalized view here. And also I'm going to leave the watch up as well. Southwestern Arkansas, you're not in that watch for some reason. But I'm going to leave this up and running for you guys. and I'm going to answer a few questions across the board. So a lot of people are kind of asking, it won't be a good idea to drive from Bryant to Little Rock at about 5 o'clock in the morning. July, I see your comment. Right now, like I said before, this is not going to be like a widespread tornado outbreak, Armageddon, anything like that. It's not going to be that serious. But you still have a tornado watch across eastern Arkansas. You still have the potential of seeing tornadoes. A couple of them could be strong as well. I'm really worried from that Little Rock to El Dorado to Memphis area, especially late tonight in the first part of your tomorrow morning. So keep an eye on the radar. You always know if you need anything, feel free to send us a message across the area. And I know everyone's trying to go to sleep as well. I hate it. I hate the overnight threat. This is the first overnight threat we've had in quite some time here. But take a Red Bull. I've got Mountain Dew right here. You're gonna have to stay with us tonight. That's gonna be the biggest thing that we're gonna keep an eye on here. We're also gonna monitor the entire state. But I will say this: shout out once again to our lead developer Richard for developing this alert bar at the bottom. This will be your best friend during live coverage. I promise you. If we're not going over your county or your warning, take a look at the bottom of your screen here. It has all your warnings and your alerts and all the other stuff here. So take a look at that. It's an awesome product that we have here. Like I said before, shout out to him. He did an amazing job building this for us here. But in terms of timing, I say anything, especially for Central Arkansas and East, I say anything after 3 o'clock in the morning to as late as the cost of the area about 11 o'clock. And I do believe we have a slight risk, actually, and we can go over to that real quick. While we kind of have some time not really going over too much, we can take a look at that. We actually have a slight risk in place for eastern Arkansas. There it is. This is the day one slight risk area for the potential seeing severe storms. And this is going to go first thing tomorrow morning. This is going to go from Pine Bluff to El Dorado to Jonesboro over to Memphis. So this doesn't mean that the rest of the state won't see anything. This is for basically after 6 a.m. Thursday all the way to about 6 p.m. on Thursday. So just keep that in mind here. This is just for Thursday's risk. This is for Thursday's risk. This is not for the overnight threat. The overnight threat, you still have the slight risk across much of the state, and then the eastern Arkansas has the enhanced. But this is just for the next round of severe storms that's going to affect Mississippi, Alabama, and across Tennessee here. But it's very interesting that they brought this further to the west for today's outlook here, where for overnight tonight, you still have that widespread slight risk. And then across eastern Arkansas, you still have the enhanced risk from earlier on today here. So outside of northwestern Arkansas, we can take a look at that real quickly here. And like I mentioned before, if you guys have any photos, videos, stuff like that, feel free to send it to us as well. Luckily up here, your dew points are relatively low, about 59, 60, 61. So none of these storms are really rotating right now. However, we are going to watch for some for potential hail and also 60 to 70 mile per hour winds with these storms as they continue to move out towards the east. At about, I'd say, let's see here. They say got a severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to go about 50 to 55 miles per hour across the area here. And they're going to continue to move off towards the east here. So something to monitor very closely here. We're going to monitor these storms coming out of eastern Oklahoma as well. And then also look at your development already coming out of the Little Rock area. We're going to have to watch these storms coming up as we get towards late tonight. Let's go back over to our main radar here in Little Rock. So give me 1 second. And it's going to switch over to that. And this is going to show kind of what's going on across central Arkansas at this time here. You can see from central to eastern Arkansas, this is where you have those storms ongoing at this current time here. You're going to have to watch eastern and northeastern Arkansas. Now, some of these storms will be loud during the overnight hours here. However, I want to stress that unless there's a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning, it's not severe. It's going to sound loud. These storms are going to be capable of producing a lot of heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and lots of lightning. However, unless there's a warning like it is out there in northwestern Arkansas, those storms are not severe. So none of these storms are severe over here in eastern and northeastern Arkansas at this current time. However, up here in northwestern Arkansas, this is where you're having the wind and the hail threat ongoing up here in northwestern Arkansas here. So I will say, like I said before, from Little Rock, this is probably going to be your best area, and I'm going to draw this out for you guys. So I'd say from Texarkana, I know Texarkana is not even in the watch, but I say from Texarkana to Little Rock, Jonesboro, over here. This is going to be your area of concern. I'd say from about 3 a.m. to as late as 11 a.m. tonight. Not tonight, into the first part of your tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. Like I mentioned before, We're going to be here. I've got Mountain Dew. I've got a bunch of stuff. We're going to be here during the overnight hours. Any warnings get issued, we're going to be live. Like I said before, take a look at the bottom of your screen. That alert bar will be your best friend here. But that's the current timing, I'd say, from Jonesboro to Searcy to Little Rock to Texarkana, points east. I'd go from about 3 a.m. To 11 o'clock in the morning for your best potential of seeing severe weather across the area. We'll watch these storms kind of go up across eastern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas, and they'll be capable of producing tornadoes. Some of them could be strong. We'll have to watch for the hail threat. I do believe your damaging wind threat will be late tonight, very, very late tonight, and towards the first part of tomorrow morning, if those storms can kind of consolidate into a line. If they don't, then your tornado threat is going to continue throughout the area here, okay? So let me see here. So make sure, regardless of what happens, in terms of if the storms break down for they get to central Arkansas or break down for you get to your area, it's always good to have a heads up. It's always good to have your phones on for alerts and your weather radio. You can never go wrong during severe weather. Winter weather is one thing, but severe weather is extremely unpredictable. You can have a storm go up, it can die on you, but it's always good to make sure you have those alerts on just to be on the safe side here, guys. So let me see here. Yeah, that's what I was saying. These storms are going to be super loud coming in. They're going to be producing lightning, especially those storms up there in eastern and northeastern Arkansas at this current time. And then over there in western, northwestern Arkansas, they're going to be capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail at this current time here. So let me see here, going over there. And like I said before, guys, if you don't stay up all night, awesome. Get some sleep. Just make sure your phones are on for just in case of alerts. I don't want anyone oversleeping a tornado warning and the worst case happens here. So just like I said before, if you got to get sleep, if you got to go to work first thing in the morning, do it. Get some sleep. It's 12 o'clock in the morning. Just make sure that you keep your phones on and your weather radios on just to be on the safe side. You have that tornado watch until 5 o'clock in the morning, and it may get extended till probably, I would say, probably about 11 o'clock in the morning, maybe as late as lunch across the area here. So let me see here. I'm going to go over the questions real quickly here. I love your comment sharing, by the way. Let me go over everything right now here. So, and this is what we do, guys, by the way. I know it's midnight. Everybody's kind of tuning out, but this is what we do. This is why we're here. So, let me see here. Going over everything. So, James, that's a great question. While we have a little bit of downtime, and by the way, if any alerts didn't get issued, once again, that alert bar. I'm trying to get everybody used to that alert bar because it's a very new product that we haven't used so far during our coverage here. Let me see here. Let me go over to this. So this is going to be your current instability, your capping inversion. This is your surface capping inversion. First of all, it's pretty weak across the state. You don't have a lot of surface a lot of surface cap across the board. So I'll give you an example, okay? Mountain Dew bottle. You have all your soda in here, right? The cap up here. This is your capping inversion. So once this comes off, everything is allowed to expand up into the atmosphere, and that's how you get severe weather. So right now, what James is asking is, what does our cap index look like? So basically, this is what you're looking at. So those light grays and the blues, it's pretty light. It's a pretty weak cap across the area. That's why you're getting these severe storms over here across western Arkansas, excuse me. So let's take a look at this. This is your low level cap as well, and it's pretty weak. So you have weak capping inversion in place, and that's going to allow those storms to get going, especially around 3 o'clock in the morning, and then especially towards first thing tomorrow morning. And I'm really worried for our folks over here in eastern Arkansas because you get past 6 o'clock in the morning now, especially with the sun coming up a little bit earlier. We'll have to watch for that because you may actually experience some daytime heating over here in eastern Arkansas, even if it's just a few hours, and that may actually heighten your severe threat just for a temporary bit before it crosses the Mississippi River. So we'll have to see how fast this gets out of here, but the longer it takes, the worse it's going to get, because eastern Arkansas, you'll experience that daytime heating first thing tomorrow morning, and that's how you get the additional severe weather over there across eastern Arkansas here. And also, one thing I want to show you guys as well, this is your storm relative helicity, basically the amount of rotation in the atmosphere. Obviously, greater across northwestern Arkansas. We will watch eastern Arkansas, generally around 200 or 300 will get the job done, and it will increase during the overnight hours, the first part of your tomorrow morning at the current time here as well here. So James, great question by the way. I'm glad I had that bottle. I was been meaning to show you guys that example here. So let me see here, go over everything right now. I think that is it in terms of all the questions and stuff right now here. And this biggest thing I will say is, if you guys have any questions, comments, stuff like that, we're going to be up during the overnight hours. I'm planning on staying up all night. It's not the first time, won't be the last. We'll be here, keep you guys updated on the latest. Like I said before, take a look at the page, the Discord. Discord is an awesome source of information as well. But if you don't like Discord, you can still follow us on Facebook. Also on YouTube as well. And one thing I will recommend is, if you have YouTube and you have a TV, like a smart TV like I have on my left side of me, get that YouTube app, follow us on YouTube, and keep that on during the overnight hours. Keep your TV on during the overnight hours. That way, if we go live, it will instantly go live on there, and what will end up happening is you will be able to kind of tune in and stuff like that. So that's going to be the thing. Make sure you stay with us during the overnight hours. I think that is it in terms of all the questions I'm seeing right now here, but that's the number one thing I want to stress right now here. And I know everyone's wanting to go to sleep and everything like that. I get it. Rose, the only thing I will say what will lower your severe threat is your overall timing. This is not coming in during the peak daytime heating where we had temperatures in the 80s and stuff like that across southern Arkansas, but still, you still have a lot of instability in place. As a matter of fact, if you give me just 1 second, I can show you that on our thing here. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I got this up and going here. So let me see real quick. I can show you that real fast here in terms of what we're looking at in terms of the storm field, but I have to make sure I have the correct header. So, nope, I do not. Oh, actually, yes, I do. Actually, yes, I do. Hang on. I do have the current thing. So, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can switch this over. And it's going to be the field for severe storms, and this is what we're looking at. So, kind of overlaying radar right now, and this is what we've got. So, this is current right now. This is going to be the fuel for seeing severe thunderstorms right now. Obviously, central, southern, southeastern Arkansas is standing out like a sore thumb right now. You have the moderate fuel down there across the area. So keep that in mind. We're going to have to watch that very closely across the board. And there's storms, and you can see those storms over there in western Arkansas is moving into that instability field. It's moving into that area. So watch it closely. We're going to keep an eye on that over there in western and northwestern Arkansas, and also up there in northeastern Arkansas as well here. But just kind of answer your question, this is why we're concerned during the overnight hours. You're going to have to watch for that instability across the area here. But I will say this, if it was during the day, this would probably be a lot higher across the area. But with it being during the overnight hours, it is concerning that you still have moderate instability during the overnight hours. But it always could be worse, right? So just keep that in mind here during the overnight hours here. So I think that is mainly it. Just making sure I'm getting everything right now. Everybody that's asking about specific counties, like I said before, your timing is going to be 3 a.m. to 11 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be broad-based timing. And it's like I said before, it's not going to affect every single body or every single county. It's just your area is a threat for seeing severe weather, and you need to have a game plan ready to go regardless if you see anything or not here. So this is what we've got. Severe thunderstorm watch out in western Arkansas until 3 a.m., west central and north central until 5, and then much of central, southern, eastern, all of eastern Arkansas until 5 a.m. And I do believe that tornado watch may get extended further until about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll wrap this up before we get towards the lunch hour here, guys. So that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm going to hop off of here, and then the next time that I'm live, it's probably going to be for tornado warnings, but I will have like video updates and all the updates during the overnight hours. So make sure you're staying with the page. Make sure you're keeping up with this as well. Make sure your phones are on and charged up, and also your weather radios as well. And we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.